Most people like cycling, but have you ever wondered which is the most difficult trek to do cycling? In an instant, hills will come to your mind, but all hills are not alike. So which one is the most difficult hill to trek upon? Let us find out. Hello friends, welcome back to Cycling News Live. Today we are back here again with an interesting video, which is the most epic descents action of professionals on the most iconic hills. So stick with the video and watch it till the end to get the notification of our latest videos. Some race organizers make them as difficult as possible, notably in the Grand Tours, where a series of punishing climbs and mountaintop finishes determine the overall victor. Here are some of the hardest professional climbs. 10. The Koppenberg, Belgium. Professional cyclists dread this hill in the Tour of Flanders. At 700 yards long with an average gradient of 11.6% and climbing 253 feet, you may wonder why all the hoopla. The Koppenberg's smooth cobblestones and steep slopes, up to 22%, make it tough even for top pros if it's dry. The cobblestones make cyclists stop, lose their balance, or fall off, particularly those towards the rear of the race who must dismount and walk up. Add screaming fans, a motorcade, and poor weather for pandemonium. Teams and their favorites know you must be in the front to win, thus the pace is usually flat out before the climb. 9. Muro di Gardiogrel, Italy. This high slope is utilized in Tirreno Adriatico. Alberto Contador Tinkoff Saxo won Stage 5 of the Tirreno Adriatico in 2014. With an average gradient of 26% and a steeper portion of 30%, the 2,600-foot ascent can make a pro race appear like a club run. Contador grabbed the breakaway's remnants on the descent. Simon Geschke, Giant Shimano, was the only rider to remain within seconds of Contador, the rest of the peloton minutes behind. Contador grabbed the overall lead, Quintana lost minutes, and Contador won. 8. Mont du Chat, France. It's impossible to ignore a hill that defeated Eddy Merckx and that few of us have climbed. This relatively obscure hill near Lac du Bourget was included in the 2017 Dauphiné Libère and Tour de France Stage 9. Le Cycle called Mont du Chat one of France's toughest climbs. In 1974, Raymond Poulidor dropped Eddy Merckx on Mont du Chat's steep hills to win the Tour de France. Merckx followed Poulidor down the steep slope and won the stage into Ailly-les-Bains. Richie Porte injured his collarbone and pelvis when he crashed with Dan Martin. Before recovering, Porte was in a wheelchair. Mont du Chat is 8.7 kilometers long and has an average gradient of 10.3%, but its location after Stage 9 from Nantua to Chambéry made it the most terrifying. Col du Grand Colombier is one of the Jura Mountains' most popular climbs. Both climbs are magnificent, steep, forested, and traffic-free. They should be on any col climber's bucket list. Number 7. Col du Galibier, France. Why is the Col du Galibier a Tour de France classic? It can't be accessed without first climbing Col du Lauteret or Col du Télégraphe. It's 8,678 feet above sea level, making it the Tour's highest point when l'Alpe d'Huez isn't included. It's 36 kilometers from the north, including the Col du Télégraphe, so it's hard to gauge your effort. Marco Pantani's 1998 Tour de France solo assault up the Col du Télégraphe and Galibier is the climb's most famous moment. The last 10 kilometers of the lengthy, grueling climb from the north side are steeper than 10%. You can't see the peak until the final kilometers. The downhill might be harsher than the ascent, and riders can quickly get cold without extra clothes. 6. Passo dello Stelvio, Italy. This 15-mile hill is used 11 times in the Giro d'Italia. With an average gradient of 7.4% and as high as 14%, it's one of the most picturesque climbs in the world and was called the finest road to drive on by Top Gear. The splendor of its sun-bathed hairpins belies the reality of the ascent, with snow-lined roads and unpredictable weather. The Stelvio is usually in the midst of a Giro d'Italia stage. Pro peloton fears and respects it. Even top professional riders often lose time due to the sheer energy necessary to climb its hills. The Stelvio is a requirement on every cyclist's bucket list, with thousands traveling to its slopes every year for the Gran Fondo Stelvio. It's a difficult climb that has hurt even the best pros in recent Giro d'Italia history. 5. Alpe d'Huez, France. Many pro cycling fans would recognize the 21 hairpins of Alpe d'Huez as a prominent Tour de France hill. Fausto Coppi was the first guy to overcome the Tour's steep ascent, and it's been popular ever since. Richie Porte gave Chris Froome a gel as he bonked on the climb in 2013. Its greatest grade is 13%, and the average is 8% across 8.6 miles, but the 21 hairpins take every ounce of energy. The climb always follows a difficult mountain stage. Lance Armstrong notably simulated vulnerability on stage in 2001. Armstrong attacked Jan Ullrich at the foot of the Alpe d'Huez climb, dropped him, and won the stage. The look became legendary. Overall contenders will push the pace before the bottom of the hardest climb. The teams line up their domestics and climbers in front of their team leader and work until they crack, giving their leader the greatest chance to win. 4. Mont Ventoux, France. Mont Ventoux, famed for its red and white observatory, currently utilized by the French Air Force as a communication beacon, has been a Tour de France summit finish 9 times. Briton Tom Simpson sadly died during the climb in 1967 and is memorialized at the top. Chris Froome's victory up the hill was one of his most memorable in 2013. From Bendouin's calm initial slopes, the road rises aggressively on the lower slopes. Near the summit, the ascent opens out to a barren, moon-like landscape with just the antenna as a focal. White pebbles reflect heat, making them hotter. Mont Ventoux, the giant of Provence, has erratic weather. Provence may swing from sun-baked oven to snowfall in minutes. The weather station distant from the observatory reported above 200-mile-per-hour winds. Mont Ventoux is feared and revered by both pros and amateurs. At Haute Route Ventoux, amateur cyclists may compete for prizes. Mont Ventoux is a beautiful, biodiverse place. A squadron of French Air Force jets turning at supersonic speeds may temporarily disrupt the serenity. Spectacular. Grab a bottle of Côte du Ventoux wine farmed nearby. 3. Muro di Sormano, Italy. Many elite riders would prefer not to climb the wall. With an average gradient of 17% that peaks at 25%, the hill was withdrawn from the Giro di Lombardia in 1963, following reports that cyclists were falling off or being pushed up by crowds. Much to the pro peloton's dismay, the hill returned in 2012 after being meticulously repaired using stencils. It includes split times and sound bites from 1960s cyclists. Matteo Cappe's 7:36 is the quickest time for this short, sharp shock. In the 2012 Giro di Lombardia, it was 80 kilometers before the Madonna del Ghisallo climb. At the top, Romain Bardet led, but Joaquim Rodriguez won. Gran Fondo Lombardia amateurs may face this difficult climb. 2. The Monte Zoncolan, Italy. Monte Zoncolan has tiny roadways, gloomy caves, and terrifying switchbacks. The grueling ascent has an average gradient of 12% over 10 kilometers, with portions above 15%. Saturday, May 18th is stage 14 of the Italian Grand Tour. Riders will climb 10.1 kilometers and 1,200 meters. Stage 14 may climb 4,000 meters. Gilberto Simoni won the 2003 Giro on Monte Zoncolan. Gilberto Simoni won the ascent 4 years later, earning it the appellation Monte Simone. Ivan Basso won the 2010 race and finished second in the general classification. Igor Anton won the Zoncolan the next year, beating Alberto Contador. In 2014, Michael Rogers won the last stage of the Giro, while Nairo Quintana won overall. 1. Alto del Angliru, Spain. The Alto del Angliru is often included in Spain's Grand Tour, the Vuelta en Espa. The 7.8-mile, 4,000-foot ascent has a 10% average grade and 20 to 24% severe portions. In 2002, British cyclist David Miller notably quit the race in protest under severe wet conditions. Alberto Contador delighted Spanish supporters on stage 20 and won his last Grand Tour in his final race before retirement. He sang a stunning solo at the bottom of Alto de l'Angliru. Overall, Chris Froome won. Chris Horner famously survived Vincenzo Nibali's onslaught and drew away amid the Alto de l'Angliru to earn the overall victory in 2013 Vuelta en Espa. So this is all about this video. Let us know in the comment box which became your favorite destination for cycling. Also, would you ever try to climb these treks? We are waiting for your response. If you liked the video, like it and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to our channel to get a notification of our latest videos. Thanks for watching.